Hi, my name is Frank Raimondi. I'm the Vice President for Channel Alliances, Partnerships, and Distribution at Nodeware and IGI Cybersecurity. In my last session, I talked about the importance of distinguishing between proactive and reactive elements of a cybersecurity stack or a solution that you may be selling and supporting your customers with. Just to recap, proactive is looking at devices, looking at their inventories, looking at testing and how those elements come into play, and what you can do to reduce the risk on the front end. Conversely to the reactive element, which is tools like EDR, MDR, SIMs, et cetera, that are helping recover or helping be reactive to something that's happened, and you're fixing things. So think about that proactive versus reactive. And today I want to go a little deeper on these proactive elements, and particularly things that trying to clarify some of the distinctions of and misinformation that might be out there. The three terms I'm going to talk about are vulnerability assessment, vulnerability management, and penetration testing. So if you think of vulnerability assessment, it's one time from the inside, I'm going to scan my network, I'm going to get a list of all the items, I'm going to manage and understand what kind of vulnerabilities might be on those devices. Again, kind of get that snapshot, a one-time thing. In the old days, it was kind of a check off the list, something I did for a compliance need, or maybe for my board of directors, just to know that, tell them that I've done it, that kind of a thing. So again, a one-time shot. Vulnerability management is taking that one-time shot and doing it daily, or at least much more proactively, much more regularly than once a year or a couple times a year. So vulnerability management is looking at, again, the inventory, what are the assets on the network, fingerprinting them so you really know what they are, not just an IP address. And then looking for vulnerabilities on every one of those devices on a regular basis. Once you know what those vulnerabilities are, then you can start remediating. And you need good tools to know what the remediation paths are. That could be just a simple executable. It could be a patch of the operating system, could be a patch of the application that might be on that device. So again, vulnerability management, looking at it regularly, sort of testing the environment, finding things, and continuously, because I tell you, there are thousands of new vulnerabilities published every month, and you're not going to keep track of them on your own. So you need a tool that can match up your assets in your inventory to those known vulnerabilities and have a path to remediation. Again, that could be a patching tool, could be other elements in that world. But that's the real proactive element of vulnerability management and a continuous management. The third element is a penetration test. So a penetration test is looking from the outside, right? Think about it in terms of a white hat hacker, right? He's using the same tools that the bad guys are using, but he's using it for good, and he's using it with your customers' cooperation and knowledge, right? But they're going in looking for paths to data, paths to privacy information, paths to data on revenue and financial information. So think about them. They're coming in using multiple methods, both physical and electronic, and trying to find out ways and paths. And then they produce a report, and it gives you very specific recommendations of what needs to be patched, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be moved, or whatever it might be. So that's the penetration test, right? Again, sort of that we put all this stuff to work. Now, is it really doing what it's supposed to be doing? Two quick comparisons I use that I like to put it into people's heads. One's the military, right? You might have the Army department in a fort, sort of assessing their staff, the weaponry, where things are that have access to them quickly. Are they in the right places? That kind of thing. So they're again doing that assessment on a regular basis, training, et cetera. But a penetration test is when the Army, along with the Navy, decides to do a trial exploitation or trial attack on a beach somewhere, right? When those forces come together, they're actually, could I get that? So do I have overlap in my mapping of where I need to be or where I need to have those resources? That's really what a penetration test is doing, is providing that information back to, again, be proactive and be preparing and fixing things that before they need to be put to use. On another example is the health environment. I go to an annual physical every year, or well check is a new term. I go in, they prescribe what I should be doing. They test my blood, my heart, my lungs, etc. And you're getting an idea of what needs to be done, right? There's some recommendations on, eat less and, exercise more and blah, blah, blah. With that, right, you're doing that. Or you say you're going to do it, whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But a penetration test is coming back in 2 months and getting on the treadmill and doing a stress test. Right now, you're doing an external, objective test on the body. Is your weight down? Is your heart performing like it needs to be? So just think about it that way, right? That's sort of a quick, easy way to think about or a couple of quick ways to think about a penetration test. So hopefully this has helped you understand the differences and when they might be in your environment. In our next session, we'll talk a little bit more about the practical elements and how to put these into use in your security solutions. Again, my name is Frank Raimondi. Thanks for your time and your attention. We'll see you next time.